see people, they know this.
I need to speak.
Kind of like maybe like give it.
Dude, I'm gonna freak out. I am gonna freak out.
Why?
No,
Yeah, you do.
No, that's not true. I simply just said what changed because we used to play and we used to talk about Roy Nelson and like all these things.
Exact
But I
opposite. It's like calling me a liar.
But I didn't say it like that.
I know.
Grant, take a breath, dude.
I'm breathing.
We'll do another thing. AirPods, they're expensive, but you can lose those all the time.
Oh,
I
dude,
stopped
You're at
getting
the
them.
gym, you're like just sitting down, they slip out of your pocket, or you're like getting out of the car, they slip out, and you're just like, where did they go?
It's kind of. Can I say something actually
Yeah.
about this? The AirPod thing. It kind of makes me think that maybe they want to get away.
Well, dude,
AirPod, yeah.
I wanted to say that I would go to bed. I listen to music when I go to bed,
Uh-huh.
and every time I would go to sleep with AirPods on, one of them would be across the room in the morning.
Yeah,
I don't know how the hell that happens. But I would like lose them, and I got fed up with it. To be honest
It's
with you.
with the exception of, I guess, like doing it yourself, like putting it. Like I think that there might be something to, dude. Like if you're an inanimate object, like a chair or whatever, there's definitely levels to it, right? Like it'd be cool to be a window, I guess, right, from its perspective, but you don't really want to be a toilet, right? And I think that would be near the bottom. But AirPods, like, why would they want to be in your ear all day? There's all kinds of, right? I mean,
I
like,
kinda get
So you're coming at this from the AirPods perspective.
for sure. And I'm
Okay.
saying that, like, basically, there's two of them. They're together. When they're not in your ear, they're placed in this little like tight compartment that like probably smells bad and it's like sweaty.
Yeah, and sometimes like if you only put one in, the other one's left out. Like, oh, am I ever gonna see him again? Like kind of
Yeah,
thing.
every day is probably just survival. It's like they have to be, if they were at least like thinking on this level, like they'd be like,
Yeah.
let's get out of here like as soon as we can. I don't want to go in this guy's stinky ear.
Like
again.
kind of like Sausage Party. Like
Yeah,
how like the fruits are like, oh gosh, like I don't want that to be me where I'm getting like, cut up or whatever.
you don't want
It's
to get
like,
the chop.
oh
especially
dude,
if
that
you're-
guy, I would not want to be him getting put in that person's ear. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get
So
it.
I think my theory, at least, and this is kind of, I mean, I don't know if I've heard this before, but I'm sure it exists. I think there is something to AirPods, and I'm not trying to make a joke out of it or anything, but like wanting to escape. I think that's maybe why they just. I'm dead serious too. I think maybe there is some sort of thing like naturally, like if they took like Ethan for you, like for example, if they took you and squeezed you into a tiny little thing and put you in someone's ear, how would you feel?
Grant, it's just funny because like earlier,
And
you were-
they made you like seeing things.
earlier you were like, I don't want to seem like like I'm like, overly confident. Like I care about like I'm super this or that.
Mhm.
You're making yourself sound extremely empathetic right now for not only people but inanimate objects that aren't even alive.
Well, yeah, I
Like
mean,
you're showing a lot of empathy for something I've probably tossed in the trash before. dude.
Yeah.
and that's just the difference between me and you, Ethan. It's some people have it, some people don't, right, David?
Tonight, there's a huge event going on. It's Alex Pereira versus Magomedov Unkolev. I really hope that Pereira takes it home. I mean, if he wins tonight, it's pretty big because
Yeah.
he's fought 4 times this year to defend his belt. And if
Okay.
he wins tonight, then that'd be his 4th. The only other person who's ever done that was John Jones years ago.
And how many does John Jones have?
Oh, he's
4?
got quite a bit. I think his title defenses, he has like, I think 10 or 11.
Okay.
Quite a bit. But 4 in a year is nuts. Most people only fight once, if not twice a year max. So he's taken 4 big fights this year to defend his belt. So it's really big.
And what was the name of the guy that you said you want to win?
Alex Pereira.
Okay. And what's his deal? I mean, what's he all about?
So I know a little bit about him. So he used to be a kickboxer. Same with Israel Adesanya, style bender. I know he's lost his last 3. It's not good, but they used to kickbox back in the day, and they kind of had a rivalry. And Alex Pereira won their 2 fights back in kickboxing, and then Izzy left to go join the UFC. And Alex Pereira literally didn't even care about UFC at the time, but he just followed Izzy just to try to beat him wherever he went. So he joined the UFC, beat Izzy the first time. He lost the second time, which pissed me off so much. But that was a whole thing. But since then, he's just been like a killer. Like, just kill. Like,
Yeah.
champion. Like, everyone like fears him. Like he's like just a good fighter. He's actually from a tribe. He was a part of a tribe in South America.
Is he the guy with the eye thing?
The eye thing?
Yeah, like a missing eye.
No.
Okay.
But he wears like, like warrior, like, like the hat and like the tribal like makeup and stuff because he's like from like a real tribe in like South America, like an indigenous tribe. It's like pretty cool. Actually.
Oh wow.
Like it's like backstory and everything. But
I think this is what I'll say, David. It's cool to be excited about it, and I understand it. It's like being it's like being like hyped about like football or whatever. Like it makes sense,
exactly.
right? Like
it's a sport.
I get, yeah, exactly, and I get that, and it's cool because it's kind of like it's the most like. I don't know how I would word this, but the most like physical, like it's just like physical dominance. You know what I mean? Like you watch a bowling match and yeah, it's a competition, but they're not really. Well, this guy's a better.
It's
bowler.
Not physical.
So what I'm saying is, I get that, right? I get the natural like instinctual, right? We all have like fight or flight and like this like whatever, but. What I don't like love with the UFC morally, like it kind of like doesn't really, I don't like about it is I feel like, and let me talk about a positive again before it, like the money, like these guys are making good money, right? They're on a contract, they're making money, their faces out there. Like Conor McGregor could stop fighting and he'd be okay from social media, right? Like,
well, that's what he did.
Yeah, he's completely,
like
he's in
12,
movies and yeah,
he sold that for $130 million. Like, yeah,
he's chilling.
He's fine,
right? Yeah,
he's also a coach.
But
too.
some of these other guys are kind of smaller guys who don't have that yet, but they are still fighting, right? And maybe they're on a contract that's kind of like not great. It's good, but maybe not for. It's like you put your body on the line, which is, to me, morally, dude. There's things about the UFC, and I'm sure I'd get a lot of like, fucking. People would disagree with me about this, and the fighters themselves who are doing it would disagree, but it's like there's a lot of bad stuff that comes with that fighting. Like the damage that you endure, especially if you're like forcing fights, because people at this point, in humanity, we know that like getting knocked out is not good for like a peer, right? Especially what's worse is getting knocked out again and again and again, like and it makes it so it like I mean CTE, the fear of all these things, like the neurological, like what would you call that, regression? I don't know, what would you call, is there a word for that? Like
there's stuff called gray matter that can build up in your brain with too many concussions. Then that can
compounding
brain cells.
Compounding concussions are like no joke. Like if you have a concussion and you're not fully healed, like a concussion's like whatever, it's okay, right? You don't watch TV or whatever, and you like try and like recover. But if you cut it short and you fight again and you get jarred again, like
yeah, but what's the difference in like with football though? I mean,
also way higher for that stuff.
They go back and they do it again.
Well, the thing about the UFC, because I've heard people say that before, and like a lot of UFC people actually disagree with it. Like. The reason why is because, well, one, they know what they're getting into when they do it. Two, a lot of people don't just do it for the money. It's like their passion. Like they
bro,
they love it. It's like the best exercise you can ever do. Like I've kickboxed for the last 2 years now. And I've been the most in shape I've ever been out of any sport I've done.
And dude, and it's when you spar, you get into a zone and it feels like you're kind of high.
Yeah, like it's like a high, like almost like a runner's high kind of, but like for fighting. Like you just feel like good.
I'm
and
sure
like,
your adrenaline's pumping.
The other thing about that too, though, like when you were mentioning that whole thing, there's a debate, and a lot of doctors and scientists have definitely more favored MMA. It's a lot safer in UFC than it is boxing. The point is, like, I just like boxing and like the whole mic thing, like it's easy to stage a boxing match, like to fix it. Like that's been a thing for years. It's like fixed boxing matches.
Sure.
Like the Ryan Garcia and the Gervonta Davis fight, that pissed me off actually, because I spent $80 on the pay-per-view because I thought Ryan Garcia was gonna win because I'm a big Ryan Garcia fan. And there's all this stuff that came out later that was like, he was like underweight. He was dehydrated during training camp to try to make weight for the fight. He got liver punched, which, I mean, I've been liver kicked before, and that's not like a joke. Like, a lot of people think that you're like a coward if you like take a knee for that, but your whole body like shuts down when you get hit with that.
It's
Like,
natural,
you literally like your body makes you drop. But it seemed like it was kind of fixed, and like it's just easier to fix boxing than it is for like UFC, because you can't really just like fix a planted kick or a submission or something. There's just too much mixed martial arts involved with that.
UFC. So you've seen Cobra Kai, right?
Yeah,
That type of
I watch Cobra.
But like, for example, that's karate, right? And
Yeah,
they're fighting no pads, pure fist, pure foot. That's kind of like UFC level fighting. In reality, UFC is like the top. UFC type fighting, MMA is like the top tier in terms of like danger level. A lot of other martial arts, when they do competitions, like for example karate, the highest level karate competitions, like the World Karate Federation, their tournaments, they're all padded. The UFC people, they know this.
I need to speak.
And the UFC, there's not been one ever reported death ever.
Okay.
Can you verify that though?
Yeah,
Okay.
Google.
guys. So yes, you bring up a good point, Ethan. Sure. I'm not speaking against just like combat sports in general. Like, sure, there's downsides and people know what they're getting into, and it's good, I think, now that we're aware, so we can like, okay, fix helmets for football, or like avoid, like, make rules against heading in soccer, like things like that. Like, I think that's beneficial, because that's no good, right? Because what the facts say is like, dude, you get head injuries, it's bad. But for MMA, and what I'm talking about is, and you brought up, David, you said, oh, like, well, boxing is like way worse, which I believe, because you get back
way
up,
worse.
you're like knocked out, and you can get back.
You can get back up like 4 or 5 times.
It's
in a
bad.
match,
It's very bad,
and that's repeated.
I agree. I completely agree. But like, to that, I would say like, okay, yeah, dying is worse than getting shot in the stomach and like living. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying you're comparing like the lesser. It's like the lesser of two evils. I'm saying that like the UFC, like, getting hit, even if the fight doesn't end in a knockout, dude, you're still getting jarred bad. But like, it kind of feels like primal, like animalistic.
Well,
like,
that's kind of like the point.
I don't
like it.
I know. I just don't like the idea of like a crowd. Like, dude, these guys are like, they have families, and it's like, I don't like seeing them injure themselves for money. And like, I don't like, and they're doing it for the money, and like, it can help their family and whatnot. But there's something about there being a big crowd. It's like gladiatorial.
Why do you think I kickbox? Like, I'm just curious. Like, just why do you think I do it?
I don't know. Exercise.
It's good exercise. Sometimes I like to get my anger out if I'm upset about work.
Sure,
or
dude,
something.
sure.
It's a really
healthy way for me to get my stress out, other
Sure.
than taking out on somebody who doesn't deserve it.
Sure.
It feels good. It gets me in crazy good shape.
Yeah.
I know how to defend myself.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go out for I would never make the UFC. I'm not skilled enough to do that.
Actually, David, I think you would be okay in the UFC.
But the
That
point
might be
is,
crazy, but I think you would do just fine.
if I
in the
had
UFC.
the skill, and if I had done this younger, I might have had a chance, and I would have taken it. I definitely got humbling experiences. I had one of this guy. There was a guy that I used to be at a dojo in Eugene. His name was John Han. Really great guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, John, if you're out there. But he was my first ever sparring partner.
Mhm.
He's Asian guy, 5'3", 120 pounds, really cool guy. But when I first went to spar with him, I was like, okay, I'm like 6'2", 240 at the time. I was like, this is gonna be like a cakewalk for me.
Mm-hmm.
He did not like go easy at all. He did not relent. Like, he leg kicked me, head kicked me, pieced me up inside of my body. Actually, liver kicked me later on when I figured out what that was.
Did you guys have pads?
We had knee pads, and then we did headgear.
Like knee pads or full on
like
shin?
full on shin pads,
okay.
and then headgear. But sometimes we wouldn't do the headgear. It just depends on like personal preference. But for first class, you have to do it. And I got rocked. Like, I was shocked. I tried to haymaker him, and he would duck it and move. Like, I got gassed. Like, I was tired. I was kind of beat up, and I was like, how long have you been fighting? And he was like, since I was 8. And I was like, okay, well, there we go. Like, it doesn't matter the size. It matters, like, if you know what you're doing. And I did not know what I was doing.
Of course.
Like, he beat me around. But then again, as I got more advanced, I fought people that were way bigger than me, like 6'5", 6'6", like, 230, 240. or guys that were just, same height or even smaller, and I would win sometimes, they would win. Like, it just humbled me to know that it really does not matter about your size.
I completely agree that there are benefits. I'm sure they're countless. You're getting exercise. That's an obvious one, right? I'm sure there's a mental and like, like a benefit to like, oh, I'm doing this and it feels good and it's right. And my headspace is better because of this, right? What I'm saying, what I don't like about the UFC specifically, I'm not talking about karate or jujitsu or anything like that, right? Jujitsu, I think, is great. There are clear examples of people going in. If you boil it down, get rid of everything, right? Yeah, they want to do it and it's beneficial, right? But it's like, dude, it's people fighting each other for money, right? And the damage and the damage you endure during that is like legit, like bad. Just saying that there is a clear like degradation. I don't know what the word would be. Like you see people's mental fucking disintegrate over years. Fighting is like a natural thing, and it's like if somebody can like dominate someone physically, yeah, that is cool, and I can appreciate that. I'm just speaking to the fact that what they're doing is clearly hurting them. And I'm saying I don't like it just seems animalistic. It's for me, and I'm talking personally.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I was younger, yeah, I like playing UFC, and it's a video game. Nothing matters, right? It's a video game.
Well, it's a video game. The real thing, though.
Sure, but like just like Call
the
of
same
Duty,
fighters, the same thing.
Call of Duty is simulating war. I don't love war, but like it's an animated thing that it's not the same thing. It's not 1-to-1. I'm saying, to me personally, it's too violent for me, and I feel bad for the people doing it.
And that's fine
for mental, because like I and that's just me. Like they would argue with me, sure, and they would say it's like, dude, whatever. Like I'm making a bunch of money and I'm taking care of myself.
And they like it, yeah.
And they like it, and I would never tell them not to do it. I'm just saying the reason why I personally don't want to watch the UFC or don't want to get involved is for that.
And that's
like,
fine, because that's
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop them from doing it. I'm not going to like make fun of you for liking it or anything like that. I'm saying I'm just speaking to why I'm not like super into the UFC. Like, that's it. I don't.
Yeah, that's fine. You personally just don't like it.
I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be ended or whatever.
Good. Yeah.
I'm just saying that I'm not super into it because of those reasons.
Yeah. No one here is gonna force you to say, "Great, you need to like." No, that wasn't the point. Like,
I know that's my only point. Is
you personally don't like it, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
And if anyone has anything to say, I'd like to.
No, I mean,
no, that's your opinion.
I mean, but yeah, like
I personally like it though. I'm not like talking about it.
Well, yeah,
nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging you for that. I just felt attacked when David said that, so I fucking went.
Well, it was weird that he felt attacked when I just said what changed. Like that's a simple question.
You're calling me out for saying that I used to like it.
Out.
It felt like it. It did feel like it
because I didn't call him. I just said what changed because at one point, if someone likes something and then later down the line they change their mind, that's what that means. What changed?
If what did change was that you just, you got turned off to the idea of seeing people like injure each other for money, and like that's fine. But
that's
like,
it, dude.
But that's
yeah. And I said that was fine. It was just the fact that you had to bring it up. No, I don't. And I don't. And that was ridiculous because I said it in a nice way, and you like to get defensive and try to get things riled up, and I don't like that either. So no, I just said what changed because we did used to play. No, that's not true. No, no, that's not true. I simply just said what changed because we used to play and we used to talk about Roy Nelson and like all these things. So that's I just said what changed.
That's like
and
me.
You explained it, and I said that's perfectly understandable.
I know, David. I know.
I was being nice about it.
I'm just saying that's like having a conversation with someone and being like, they say something. It's like, wait a second, I could have sworn 3 weeks ago you said the exact opposite. It's like calling me a liar.
But I didn't say it like that.
I know.
I didn't call you a liar, so don't put words in my mouth. But
are you going to the bathroom
again?
What? You're going to the bathroom again.
Yeah. All right, we'll do another take.
Do we want to move on to a more friendly topic?
I don't care.
Great. Take a breath, dude.
I'm breathing.
We heard you, man. We understand I understand your viewpoint. I'm not against your opinion.
That's a fine. Yeah, it's your opinion, so it's fine.
Grant, do you think I'm against your opinion?
I don't care. I mean, it's cool, man. I don't care.
You look pissed still.
Yeah.
Well,
why?
I'm not pissed, dude. I mean, can we do something about this? I mean,
Oh, the drinks?
Yeah, that's
I
kind
don't have any. Well, if I cut out a significant portion of the UFC talk, we should probably keep going for another 25, 30 minutes.
Let's
All right.
fucking do it.
Rick, calm down, dude. What are you so pissed off about?
I'm just fucking pissed, dude. I
About
walked down
what?
there and David's like, that pissed me off.
Well, because it digs. You tried to say I attacked you and I didn't. I just
It felt
asked
like
a
it.
nice. Well, no, you like to get defensive and rile things up when I just asked a simple question.
I felt like I was being attacked, dude.
If I said, Grant, you're such a fucking liar. Do you remember 5 years ago when you said that's different than? Well, Grant, hold on. We used to play UFC. You brought up Roy Jones. Like, what changed? Like, that's just a question.
I know. I guess to me, what it felt like was the previous thing that you stated. You said it in a nice way. I admit that, David.
I did.
Yeah, but
So,
it felt like
When you got like defensive, I was just like, whoa, like I was not expecting that.
okay. Maybe you're maybe
So yeah, that did piss me off.
Sure.
'Cause I was like, okay, I was being civil, and then I know where you took it. In the, like a
maybe your
negative
intentions
way.
were good there. Maybe that's me.
Well, I'll just tell you they were.
Okay, I believe you.
So, yeah, that's that.
Sounds like consensus to me, man.
Yeah, man. No, it sounds good.
Yeah.
But let's move on to a different topic
All
that you
right.
guys can both agree on, and that you guys can be friendly and civil about.
Like what?
I don't know.
I don't
We
know
had
where
things
to
that we
go from
wanted to talk about, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what it was before we started.
Well, because at the start it was just like, what's current things going on, so I brought that up.
Well, no, what was it before we started actually recording that we were like, well, yeah, I saw that little.
It was some. I don't even remember at this point, actually. Yeah.
All right, what is next?
Pawn Stars.
Yeah. Good show. I mean, it's still going, right?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Ethan, you watch Pawn Stars?
I do not. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it, so do you know that like Rick?
I've
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
clips
good.
of Pawn Stars. I think where some dude tries to bring in coins or something, and the bald guy's that Rick.
Yeah.
The guy behind the counter is like, "Sorry, man, nope." and the people behind the counter are like, "But you don't get it." He's like, "I don't think you get it."
That is funny. No, yeah, like his like famous thing is kind of like he like just like always lowballs people if like he gets like he brings in the expert like says this is legit, and he's like, well, so how much does this go for? And he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
something like this. It's pretty rare. It's in mint condition. I could see it going anywhere for 45 to 75,000. It's like, all right, well, thanks for coming in, letting us know. And he's like, so you originally asked 500. Can we go 250? And then the guy's like, okay, whoa, like, I kind of want the full price now. 75,000. He's like, I gotta, it's gonna take me time to sell. I gotta do this, brand it. Can we go 30? You know what I mean? Like he just does the low balls, and like everybody's
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Well, the clips I saw was this guy, he came in, he was like, "These don't look real to me." And he's like, "They are," and they kind of argued, and then like the guy left and then came back with like documents, and then Rick was like, "Are these real?" And they were like, "Mm-hmm." He's like,
yeah.
"Fuck,
The
fine."
expert, yeah, he kind of
Yeah.
gets pissed when something is real because it's like he could make money, but it's like the whole like dramatic thing.
Yeah.
The show's like everybody out there should know this by now. The show's like staged. Like I would definitely say Grant's probably watched a bit more shows than I have. Like I've aside from Succession, I've not watched anything aside from Cobra Kai. Like
Really?
That's a
Okay.
show I haven't watched.
yeah. It's good. It's like a little bit corny, but it's like that's like how they make it. It's like corny and like
Yeah.
kind of funny.
It's
like
a fun. Yeah.
it's not supposed to be taken serious or like with good effects or anything. Like you think you could probably like agree with that.
Here's my take on Cobra Kai real quick. I think the corniness was supposed to match an 80s level of corny that they did often in 80s writing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be over dramatic for effect to kind of bring back that 80s cliche.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, you probably haven't watched enough 80s film.
Like they obviously could have made it like crazy serious, really good and stuff, but like it's
Yeah.
still good, but it's just like funny. Like well, who would you say your favorite character is out of that? Like for the people that have seen Cobra Kai.
Oh, fucking Johnny, dude, 100%. I love
Johnny Lawrence is classic.
Every
It's
time
funny.
Johnny walks into a room, there's a guitar riff. It's like an 80s theme. Like when they were playing Phil Collins in the air for one of the episodes, it was like really chill. And then Johnny walks in and you hear
He does embody
then-
the 80s, like
yeah.
that type of like training montage kind of thing from like
stuck in the
original
80s
movie.
Johnny, dude. I love his
Yeah.
character. He is that show. And yeah, it just couldn't be the same without him. I'm so glad they made that show.
I respect that.
They did everything they could with Cobra Kai, in my opinion.
Yeah, I respect that.
It sucked to see it go, but they revived a franchise that was dead for over 30 years, and then they did everything that I think the fans could have asked for, to be honest.
I agree.
Can I use that as a segue here? The Society
Yes.
show's gone too soon. You ever watch that, Ethan? Dude.
Yes,
What
great
is that
show.
about?
Happy that Grant brought that up. So that came out at the tail end of like 2019. It was over. It was
Okay.
summer after we graduated in June of 2019.
No.
Okay.
It was like really weird that it came out like right before the pandemic hit, because
Mm.
the whole point of the Society was that there's these like high school seniors. They go on these buses to go to like a senior, like the senior trip. What did we do for that? Actually, I didn't go
We
to
went
it.
to Bullwinkle's.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't go to it, but I heard it was pretty fun.
Mhm.
But
It was.
it's like that, but they were supposed to go on this like camping trip or something. And there's all
Mhm.
these different characters you kind of get introduced to early. There's like this weird thing with like there's like this smell in the town, and they hired this guy to like get rid of it, but it came back and like they didn't pay him for it. So like they go on these buses, and then they like out of nowhere get told that like they had to get turned around because there was like a storm and like all these crazy things. And then they go back and they get dropped off in town, and there's no one there. Their parents aren't there. There's like no service. Like they're just kind of stuck there. Like it's like a whole new like universe, like a
Yeah.
parallel universe that they're on now, and they just have each other. It's just they're on the Society now.
I have a show that's very similar to that. That this is my show rec of this pod ep. It's called From, and it's
Dude,
on MGM
Don't get me
Plus.
started on From.
Have you seen all of it?
Yes, dude.
Dude, I fucking love that show. Me, Ian, and Vanessa watched it.
That's funny. I was
together.
super into From for like a lot. And I don't know if you remember, I don't want to say her name, but Miss T from high school.
Yeah,
Dude, I talked to her about From, and I told her about. I put her
she
on
watches From.
and she did after I recommended it. Yeah.
Really, dude. I made my parents watch it, and they loved it.
It's so good.
And-
Well, it is good at least early on. I feel like
It got well. Season 2 was a little interesting, but I like season 3, and it ended
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah. I would agree, I guess, but kind of, I don't know. It seemed like season 2 and season 3 did sort of blend together. Maybe it was the way I watched it, but it was kind of like, it was good, worth watching, and I'd watch more if it came out. But
Well, I think season 3 is setting up like a huge storyline for season 4, because now, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give you another time code to skip to.
Okay, again, I've never seen it. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna give too much away, but if you like
Alright.
really don't want to hear anything about it, skip to this time code. I think they're gonna tell a lot about the history of the town in
which
season
is
4.
good. Yeah.
But so basically, what From is,
Such an interesting concept.
it's like
Similar to Society.
there's this town that if you are driving on a road and you see a tree down in the road and you drive once you see the tree and you turn around, you get stuck in a loop and you get stuck in the town. And during the night, these creatures come out that will kill you. They
So
look
scary.
Oh,
dude.
you told me about
Yeah.
this.
You
did, yeah.
actually, yeah.
they look like humans, but they have these like monster faces, and if you are outside, they'll kill you, but if you're inside and you have a talisman on your door, like a little rock, they can't come inside.
So scary.
Ooh.
Similar to a vampire, like they need to be you gotta ask or like give them permission to
Yep.
come inside. They ask, like, may I enter?
That's interesting. It sounds kind of
And-
like a skinwalker. or
Yeah,
like a
and they're not
Wendigo
like-
or
Wait,
like a what?
something, like a skinwalker,
A
like
little bit.
Wendigo kind of.
Well, kind of. They look like humans. And-
They look like humans, but they're stuck in different. They look like a lot of them look like humans from different like decades, like
Mhm,
like the 20s, 30s, 40s. They're like it's like a milkman from the 50s, and like
mhm.
they're all, which is interesting. Maybe something to. I'm sure it's important, but yeah, like for example, the first episode. Like I think it starts by, and you should watch it. It starts by like the main guy, right? He's kind of like the town sheriff. It's like, all right, guys, it's curfew, right? It's like 7 o'clock, or like 5 o'clock, something like that. It's like, what's going on here, right? He's ringing this thing. He's walking around like, all right, guys, let's have a good night. It's like 5. Like, dude, really? We can't go out? Maybe we can get a little food or something? No, you can't. And then eventually it gets to a house, right, in this town. It's kind of like this beat down town,
Mhm.
isolated completely by a forest and water and all this stuff. And it's kind of a fun. It kind of reminds me of Coraline, the setting, kind of that feel, and it kind of mysterious, right? And it's
there's this house, right? And there's this little girl hanging out like upstairs with her. I think she's got her mom, maybe her dad too. And she,
Actually, no, the dad was at the bar drinking.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
yeah.
that is true. So the dad wasn't present, but he is in the picture. And so it's this little girl like upstairs, like about to go to bed, right? And she hears a knocking at her window, and she's like, "Oh, like obviously, like what's up?" We're like, "Oh, I don't want to interact with this," but and finally she interacts with the thing, and it's like an older lady, dressed nicely, uh, again like 20s, 30s, 40s attire. I'm not sure what generation that would be from, but like, and she's like, "Hey, it's me, your grandma. Let me in." And she's like, "You don't really look like my grandma, right?" And she's like, "No, but I am your grandma. Like, let me inside." And she's like, "Well, if you say so." And I don't want to spoil anything, but
I mean, it's in the trailer.
oh,
You can spoil it. Yeah, it's in the
Oh, okay.
trailer.
okay. So she basically, the little girl's like, I mean, if you say, like, I guess maybe you are my grandma. She's little, right? Like, maybe people change and stuff, but it's definitely not her grandma. It's like a ghostly, pale person. It's that alone is scary. And she's like, "Okay, sure, yeah." And she opens her window and she flies in and like attacks the girl
Mhm.
and the mom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it a spoiler to say what happens to them? Because I mean, I feel like it's pretty well. It's literally the first thing that happens in episode 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is it that much of a spoiler?
If it's in the trailer, I guess you don't know what
I'm-
happens, but it's assumed, right? It's
You-
implied that they would not be okay.
Yeah, these two people, the mother and that kid in that trailer. I mean, if you want, I'm just gonna say it. They're one-offs, man. Like they they're gone in like the first like 15 minutes of the show, so they're not that important. But yeah, that little girl and the mom gone, shredded, dude.
Oof.
They're like super
Shredded.
strong. Yeah.
I see. Well, kind of going off of like this whole TV topic, kind of like Burton style vibes. Like, you know, I love Burton, you know, kind of growing up with like claymation and everything.
me too.
That Wednesday season 2 is coming out soon this fall. Really excited for that.
Never seen the first season.
I saw part of the first season, didn't love it.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Here's a show that I think you guys would be into, but it depends on which season you watch because every season is different. Maybe you know what I'm getting at. American Horror Story.
I watched the first 2 seasons or something. I know like there's like some of the like I know some of the whatever they call them like monsters. I'd say I don't really want to say that, but you
Mhm.
know like whole style of it. But I watched it for a little bit. But like honestly, like when they added like some people to the show, I kind of like lost interest.
Here's what I will say. The best season is season 8, Apocalypse. It has to do with the Antichrist and the end of the world. And it's a little graphic in a couple of different ways, especially in the beginning because you don't really know what's going on until you get to about a couple episodes in, and then it kind of goes back in time and explains what's going on. It's about the Antichrist, and he
Scary.
shows up.
Scary.
It's actually everyone in that season puts on a really good performance, and I really enjoyed that season. And then season 9 is a slasher season, which I think you'd really enjoy. I'm not a huge fan of, and like, I mean, I guess I'll just say it out for I did like the witch season. I can't remember which season that was, but I would say give season 8 and 9 a watch. The rest of them, you could take it or leave it, unless you really like the witch stuff, which I've watched pretty much every season of AHS, and my favorite seasons are Hotel, Apocalypse, and then 1985, which is season 9.
I see.
I would give those 3 seasons a watch. Those are really, really good. Really, really good, dude. And like it's a good time. You've never seen it, Grant?
I've seen it. I've seen it in bits and pieces. I never really gave it a chance, which is on me, I guess. But it seems like maybe it's spread too thin. I don't know. There's a lot going on, a lot of seasons, a lot of episodes. It just seemed, even when I was watching, this was years ago, but it seemed kind of like there's so much going on. How can you possibly like put all your focus in one thing? It seemed very spread. It seemed kind of maybe too much, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's worth watching. But David, you said something that made me want. What show were you talking about, David?
Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah. I guess all I wanted to say about that is people have made the connection with me. They say I look like the brother
Oh, Pugsley.
Pugsley, yeah.
I would have said honestly, and this is more of like a compliment. I don't think Pugsley is like really a compliment, but I would say you kind of remind me of Uncle Fester a little bit.
Well, that's also not a compliment. I would probably.
He's cool.
He's cool in like a weird way.
No, he's cool. He's the cool uncle. Like everybody likes Fester.
Yeah,
Like even Gomez Adams. Like he's like so like have you ever seen the movies, the Adams Family movies?
Yeah.
Like the live action ones from like back then, like 90s
Yeah.
or whatever. Like everybody loves Fester. Like
Yeah.
he's the cool uncle that kind of shows up and like everybody like just loves having him around and like his time and like
Yeah.
it's just like a cool thing. Like Fester's cool.
Okay.
He's like one of my favorites actually, aside from Thing. The hand. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's just like an interesting whole idea. Like I've always loved it.
It
like,
is, yeah. I'll take that.
It's okay, Grant. I've gotten compared to fucking Jonah Hill, so
that's
good, dude. Jonah Hill's sick.
dude. He got in good shape.
he did though. He's in really good
He
shape
looks
now.
good
yeah.
now. Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy, man.
Yeah.
What other horror shows have you guys seen? I haven't seen a lot of horror shows.
I haven't either.
I don't know about like horror shows. I
I
just
Ooh,
know
what
like,
about
a lot of
movies?
movies.
Dude,
I
I love the Conjuring universe movies.
Same. I do too.
Too much for me, man.
Yep. And of course, Grant's scared, but I love the Conjuring movies. And sorry.
No, it's completely. It's true. I don't like watching those. They're too scary for me.
Yes, which trust me, that's perfectly fine. Really, it is. But I had to bring that up going into this.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't. It's too much. I can't watch them comfortably. It makes. I like psychological like thriller stuff maybe.
Like
More.
like A24 films or
Yeah, that like kind of weird, maybe off, but like it's an interesting idea. I like scary movies. I like the like ideas behind them, and I like hearing about like the plot. So that's why I watch like YouTube videos, like surmising them into
yeah,
one
like a
video.
dead meat, like kill count. Like
Exactly.
have you
that.
seen that? Dude, sometime just go on YouTube, type in dead meat. James A. Janice. He does a show where he does the kill count on every like thriller, horror, sometimes even
Oh,
non-thriller.
dude, I wonder if I watched a video once for The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes kill count.
It was
Probably,
probably that,
okay.
but he's always done that. I remember there was one time where Grant and I, we had a couple other buddies over, and they really wanted to play Rainbow Six Siege. We weren't really like feeling it that day, so we just like staked out in the living room, got some snacks, and just grinded the dead meat kill counts, like
Yeah.
just from like the latest to like ones we haven't seen, just
Mhm.
funny ones. Like sometimes there's like funny older movies that you like don't know if like there's like 1 and 2 like called The Dentist. Like
Yeah.
it's just like about like a dentist that like does whatever he does to people that most dentists don't do, and like it's just like a kill count, and like we were just watching it, and like everyone else in the room was kind of annoyed that we weren't trying to watch them play Siege. Or like
Mhm.
Grant was kind of like, why would we go in there to watch you play a game that we're not going to play when we can like watch this together?
There
and,
was
like, kinda
definitely a
connect on
rift.
it.
There was kind of something created between us. It was like us versus them.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
mentality. And it definitely built as we continued to watch and they continued to play. No one really gave anything, right? And eventually it got to the point where me and David were having a good time, and the other two people in this party came out and they were not happy, and we basically used I don't want to say the name of the voice, but we used a certain voice to kind of deflect.
Yeah,
used it
exactly. When I
offensively.
said that Grant was scared, it's kind of like this, like
It's a certain character. It's
a character.
and we were both doing that kind of maybe to an annoying level, and they both didn't love it. They actually
Yeah.
didn't like it at all, and it was a full on offensive at that point. They were attacking, we were attacking, and it got messy for sure. It got to a point where a good friend of mine to this day, I'm not going to say his name, but we fight a lot. But he said some things, and then I said the idea of like driving was mentioned, and I said I would rather. What did I say?
You're like, I'd rather walk 15 miles than be in a car with you, because it was about going to get food or something,
Yeah.
and like rekindling what happened.
Mhm.
And it was like I think to BK or maybe somewhere further, like maybe like a mile or two down the road. And he was like, I'd rather walk 15 miles than be in a car with you.
For 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just kind of funny, but the whole point was just like we all were planning to hang out together.
Mhm.
Their idea of hanging out at the time was to play a game that normally we all play separately on our own console, and we didn't have any interest in watching them play it. So we just went out in the living room, kind of had our own like little thing where we connected on these like funny kill counts of these interesting movies that we thought we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And they kept trying to like interrupt it, and like they'd like walk through and like kind of go to the kitchen and make loud noises, or like turn on the lights and just do like annoying things while we're doing. Like I'm sure if anyone out there's kind of had something similar, like mention it, but it gets kind of annoying, and you know, you kind of just like keep notes. We're like, what's something annoying that we can do to them when they do that? So, you know, we kind of did like the voice, and kind of seemed like, you know, it's like a voice where you seem a little bit more sophisticated and like better in a way.
This was like a full-on warfare.
It was
Yeah,
warfare.
this was crazy.
It got ugly. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It started. It got a little hotter, right, and it reached a boiling point.
Yeah, like
at which
implode.
point it, dare I say, imploded.
Yes.
And it was messy.
Yeah.
We still to this day reference to this day, you know, that we're speaking of, and we talk about it in a learning way, right? It's educational. We can learn from it, but excuse me, if I could go back and do it all again, I would. I wouldn't change a thing.
Same, honestly. Like you just can't replace memories like that. That was too funny.
Yeah, I think we were in the right for sure. We were being really annoying, and had I been, you know, from the perspective of someone else, I would be like, dude, what are these guys doing?
Well, because like going on your point, look, it was like we were in high school. It was our senior year. Was it?
Senior.
It was our senior year. You get out of class on Friday. You're ready to just get home, relax. You know, you had a long day ahead. Maybe you had like practice. We didn't at the time because we were out of football. But, you know, we just wanted to sit down, relax, talk, and just like chill. And that just kind of like thwarted those plans. And then them like kind of going at us, trying to annoy us even more, just made it like, you know, adding fuel to the flame. So like,
and another thing to note, I would say, is me and David aren't always on the same page. I think we tend to stick together in certain social situations, but when it comes to the two of us, I mean, we argue, whatever. We're friends, right? We fight. So it was kind of beautiful that me and him were working together.
yes.
Right, defending one another in a situation where we felt like we were being kind of attacked. Was it immature? Yes, 100%. But that makes it funnier, kind of.
Yeah, and like, you know, kind of going off what he was saying, like earlier, you know, you kind of heard us with the whole UFC thing, kind of going back and forth and stuff. Like, you know, maybe we got a little bit like of like annoyance with each other, but the point was like we're still like good friends. We've been friends for years. Like that happens. Like if you actually have like a real friend, you get into disagreements. Like if you never fight with your friend, that's not really like a friendship. That's just like agreeing with each other and not really like, you know, having your own mind. Like, so I never disagreed with his stance on the UFC. It was just like there was a misunderstanding about like my type of dialogue with him. Like he thought I was trying to like attack him about something, when in reality that wasn't like how I wanted it to go. That wasn't like my intention, but it maybe came off that way. So like I personally wanted to apologize to Grant for that, because that wasn't the point.
And I apologize too. You know what? I do get defensive, and I take things a certain way sometimes, and I jump to the defense because sometimes maybe I feel like I get attacked. It's like me versus the world. It feels like, and that's not the case, right? Everyone's not out to get you or me in this case. And I did get a little defensive there, and I think we were both kind of disagreeing up to that point anyway. So it kind of seemed like we were kind of going blow for blow there in a metaphorical fight, right? A fight of verbiage, words, and that could get ugly.
But it's completely normal. And the thing is, like, he highlighted like that there's a lot of times where we are on the same page about things getting attacked by like the offensive. So like, you know, it's kind of nice that we can like do that, especially if it's like a moral kind of thing. Sometimes we will stand on ground with that together. If it's moral things where someone says something that's kind of rude or, you know, kind of aggressive, or like, you know, well, I don't know about that. And
it's honestly, it's like Batman and Joker working together. It's beautiful. Like you don't see that very often, right? They're almost like the opposite of one another, yin and yang. And when they work together, it's like, wait a second, there's something seriously like wrong going on here. Some antagonist attacking, and we work together, right? What's the big joke? There is no joke, right? It's about life, death, love, mystery. So just things to really digest and think about. But I think we might be running out of time here. I'm getting I'm getting the sense that maybe we're pushing the envelope a
little bit. But before we do wrap this up, I want us to do a little bit of a segment on where you guys want this pod to go, what kind of ideas you got for the future, and what the listeners can expect. Because I don't know, I haven't watched this back yet, but this one, as a first episode, might not be a hit, but maybe reassure.
I think that's a great point, Ethan. I mean, I don't know about you, Grant, but personally, I think that we did bring a lot to the table. Like, I think that we had a lot of interesting things to talk about. Ethan would chime in, honestly, more than usual, actually. And like, I kind of like connect on some things that we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of made like, not a perfect first pod, because like what podcast, especially the first one's going to be perfect. But
It's
like,
never going to be perfect.
it's not going to ever be perfect, but this
Never.
was like natural. Like, it's kind of like we actually were just like, chilling in this room, having a real conversation about things, some disagreement. Like, it wasn't like this was set up. We have teleprompters up there, just like really doing a high budget fake kind of thing. Like, this is like actually just like on the fly. This is how we're feeling right now. This is the events, topics, and
Dude, we don't even have segments yet.
see, and that's like kind of the thing. This is just like we're going off the fly right here, and it went, I think, fairly well for a first.
I thought
time.
it went well, dude. Overall, I think if you got in there with your little mechanical knife and dice this up and placed it together in a way, I think it would actually come out really nice.
Yeah,
and maybe I'm sure out of this whole thing there was 30 minutes that you could come, and maybe that's good. Maybe 30 minutes is good, right? I mean,
we could always start with 30 minutes. My goal here is for us to get at least in the future, maybe not this first episode, but an hour and 20 minutes max.
That would be great
of time.
Sure,
we can definitely work up to that. It's like the thing that I did like about this one is like there was never like a dull moment where like everyone was stiff, didn't want to talk or anything. Like everyone was pretty comfortable. We're just sitting back in the chair, relaxing, just kind of like actually talking like we've known each other for years. Like,
and it's only going to get more comfortable. I mean, there still is for sure like a level of maybe, I don't know, awkwardness maybe, but I think we did, David, you're right, we did do a good job.
I mean, this is kind of how our talks go outside of the pod too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is pretty natural.
We're not just
There's
playing
for
a
sure-
character like doing fake. We're not being fake. Like, this is like actually like just how we talk when we're off. Sometimes we can get a little bit more like funny and like laugh about things and like
Oh yeah, I mean, there's probably topics that we didn't bring up here that we could like off
I will
camera.
say there's for sure a difference. There's a difference between this and like when me and David go and we're getting the car, we're gonna be acting. So that's gonna, I think, fizzle away with time as we get more comfortable. But for the most part, it was like, I mean, we have like, it's the fact that we're on a podcast. It's hard not to. It's like talking to somebody. You're gonna, people call it like switching. I don't know, but you act different around different people, and so it's like we're in a podcast. We're gonna act like a certain way. But that level is, I think, close to maybe reality, and we're right there.
Well, and the good thing is that if this episode does suck, which I don't know if it does or not, I gotta watch it back. This isn't but like for example, like a movie, it's like if it sucks, it sucks. It's a one and done. But like podcasts, we get how many ever episodes we want to shoot.
It's
And
like
some of them are gonna be good, some of them are not gonna be.
Yeah,
good,
we didn't have to
so-
spend like millions of dollars. On
Yeah,
budget, like
if
Rotten
only you could see
Tomatoes,
this
like-
setup. It's really janky. I have my phone taped to a camera stand because I need to buy it.
Yeah, it's like I live, I die, I live again. Mad Max.
But yeah, I mean, like, for by the way, this is all being shot on an iPhone. So like for an iPhone, this is pretty good quality. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys really want to close out with, or?
I mean, this is everything. We all start somewhere. I think this was good, and I think it's only going to be up from here, right?
Yeah, I agree with Grant. It will get better over time. This was our first take. I think it did okay. I don't think it was like amazing, but I don't think it was horrible. I mean, we were just sitting here shy, tight, all scrunched up, not knowing what to say and awkward. Like, it's like three buds that, have known each other for years like we have, just talking about things. Like, I think that at some point, I agree with Ethan, we'll get some segments, work on it a bit more, add some funny material. But for now, like, it was a great way to break the ice.
I mean, I think for like someone in the car driving who wants to listen to some real conversation, people chopping it up, this isn't that bad.
I think this is what I'll say, and I do it too. I think we all do it. I think it really gets closer to real, and people love drama. They do. People just love drama, and I do too.
I agree.
But I think there's like kind of a, like what I'm doing right now when I'm talking. I don't talk like this normally. I think that there's kind of like this, like I don't do that. Like I'm like more like, wait, David. So wait,
I did notice that actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like something that's kind of for the pod.
It's like I'm like presenting, so I'm in like this. But like normally, if I'm like just talking, it'd be like, David, what are you talking about? And then David's like, well, I'm talking about this thing that I mentioned earlier, and it's like, oh wait, just like the thing that you like, and he's like, yeah, exactly. It's different, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a level, but I'm saying as it gets closer to drama, things kind of become more real. Like when we started getting in like the argument, like that was it. There's like this, the facade was kind of, diminishing or whatever.
Yeah, that was
And
more reality.
It was very like real, the fighting, which I think is good. I'm just saying that there's like for sure levels. I think as we go, it's gonna whatever. But the fighting I think is good. I think we should add it.
I mean,
I'm mad. I'm even add like the extra stuff where I'm like leaving and David's like that pissed me off. And then I come back and I'm
honestly,
like,
what
he
I'm
just said that
probably
pissed me off, and I'm like,
what I'm probably gonna do for the video version is like put a little clip of that at first, and then like go, and then start it at the beginning. That way, people are like,
That's
"Oh
good.
shit, some real shit goes down in this one."
yeah.
For the audio version, I won't do that. But what was I gonna say? Also kind of touch on like the theme stuff, because there will be some themed episodes, because I know you guys were kind of into that. That'll kind of be more specific to this podcast. Like maybe some stooms, so some characters that you guys can get into. I think that'll be pretty fun. Like if you want to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, it's going to kind of boil down to the budget, I think. I mean, early on, I'm not sure what we can promise. We could probably throw something together, but
Yeah, I'm sure we could figure something out.
but I like the idea of like having like every episode being like something different or whatever. Like we're dressed up as like me and David, we're a duo. We are.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
That's like the point.
And even though it might seem maybe phony or fake to some people, but it's like,
Trust me, it's not.
yeah, it's not like we're like, and we've got like a dynamic that I think is interesting, and it's like, things come to mind of like certain duos, like David was talking about, like Step Brothers or like Greg Heffley and Rowley, like and I think we can play on that, and it could be something cool potentially. So I think maybe not the next episode, maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll connect
we'll
and
talk shop, but
you never know. It'll be a surprise.
it could be like a thing, like every episode, right? Like we'll just see. We'll play it by ear. We'll talk to this guy here, Ethan, right?
Yep, the man.
Yeah, he's something, right? And
And if you're watching another one of these podcasts, yes, I'm the same Ethan that's on the Food Court Pod. You're gonna see me and hear me in multiple different places. That's because we don't have like the manpower to have all these positions filled, so people kind of have to go into multiple different spots. So you don't see me on this pod, but you'll see me on the Food Court Pod, which, by the way, I'm gonna wrap it up now here.
Yep.
So things to look out for. This pod is gonna come out at the same time as the Food Court Pod, and then Breeze Yappy Hour pod. So if you finish this episode and you're like, okay, what else does Food Court have to offer? The Food Court podcast first episode will be out along with Breeze Yappy Hour episode, and all three of those are going to be out at the same time.
And-
so make sure you check those.
Oh, for sure. And can I say, I was gonna say originally, like he's like in reference to you, like you're like a parasite, like you can't get rid of you. But I was just joking. I was just joking.
I mean, you're right. I'm your, I guess,
just kind of
boss. I
ever-present,
don't want to
yeah.
say boss, but
well, and also I was gonna say, yeah, the three of us, these podcasts, we're in competition. Okay, we're trying to do better than these guys. They're trying to do better than us. They watch our stuff and they judge us. They do. And we need to do better than them, and that's why we need everyone to support us. And these guys, you can watch them. You can watch these other podcasts, and you can like think what you want to think. But ultimately, if it comes to like building an army and like taking those guys out, we will.
Hey, if
I
you
love
guys
this
do
guy,
well, then
yeah.
we do well because you're part of Food Court. So
Yeah, I love this guy. That's like the competitive energy and the attitude.
hey, yeah, man. But that's fine, because if you guys do really well, doesn't matter for me. Food Court does well.
Yep. But if we do really bad, I guess maybe it's our, we're toast.
Hey, we come together, brainstorm what happened, look at the viewership, show me the optics. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm just joking about the competition thing, but I would like to do better than. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I
Hey,
hope
why
you-
not? It's a friendly little. What do they call it? I don't know. It's like an inner rivalry
Yeah,
within the
cool.
company.
And I think that
Between the
there's going to be
pods.
different audiences between the two as well.
Yeah.
That
Right.
could be
Right
the
now,
case.
this probably doesn't seem very different than what's probably going to be shot from the Food Court Pod. But I think one thing I really want to like.
And we're family friendly.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I
Food
like
Court
that
pod
one.
is not going to be family friendly. I'm going to warn you now if that's what you're into and you want to go watch that. If you can't deal with not family friendly stuff, it will not be family friendly.
Yeah, like I'll agree. Like, Ethan's whole, what he's been doing with this, it's not going to be like this pod where it's just kind of like PG, but like that's kind of how Grant and I love doing it. It's like we're just not really big on crude humor or like, I'm not going to say that we're like, the police of that stuff, but we just like don't do that. And that's like just our personal thing. And like, that's just kind of how it's going to be is like, it's not like,
We're better than it.
Explain it.
Yeah, we're better than it. We're above it. So if you're looking for things that is a little more mature, a little more, and not mature in like a content warning, but mature and more like developed. I'm just joking. No, we just want to avoid it.
know.
No, I'm
Sure.
just.
But maybe.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
joking.
I don't know, dude.
No. I'm just joking. We're gonna be like immature and like probably goofy, whatever.
Yeah,
We
we'll be
are-
goofy, immature, but like there's certain some jokes that might be said on different pods or things that like just aren't really like our thing that we personally come up with, which is
We
fine.
don't-
That's like the different flavor
But
of
that,
it.
yeah,
What
that's
we're
the
saying
point
is
of
we
the
don't wanna
different
stoop
platforms.
to that level.
Psh.
I'm just joking.
But yeah, so get braced for any other ones. If like that's what you guys like, then gravitate towards that more. If you kind of like it where it's like a little bit more like, our kind of little like PG goofy kind of thing, then like,
Uh-huh.
you can always come here.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Scooby Doo PG movie still fucking funny. Sorry, that wasn't family friendly.
Really?
Oh,
It's
that
freaking
stuff's fine,
funny.
like
Yeah.
Are cuss words good on this pod, David?
that's fine. Like
Grant?
Or what
Is
do you
the
think,
F word
actually?
safe?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. It's the
Don't worry. I know you're getting that. I will. No,
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that.
that's not. Yeah, I'm not worried about the cuss words for sure. I was gonna say something. It escaped me. Blast. What do you think, David? Let's wrap it up here.
On that point, yeah, like Jimmy would say, got a blast. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would love to just keep talking and talking forever. I would, trust me.
You guys
It's
are good.
just we're human.
Yeah,
We've got
you're
places
tired.
to be and things to do. So
Like I said, all 3 pod apps will be out at the same time. Go follow the Food Court HQ on Instagram. You'll also find Grant and David's pod on Instagram as well. If you don't know the name, it's in the bio of the Food Court HQ Instagram. And if you can't find that, go to our follower list or follow me and you will find it. It is Cavemen Pod at Cavemen Pod on Instagram. Go check us out and we'll see you in the next one.
no, seriously. And David. Yep.